Well, you thought it could never happen to you. You're a good person, you work hard, you try to do the right thing, but you find that now you're a good person going through a bad time financially. If I just described you, stop, take a breath, don't make a big move trying to fix your financial problems until you hear from our next guest.
She is the lady of the law, Felicia Walker, with the law firm of Emery, Kast, and Walker, a law firm right here in Jacksonville dedicated to helping good people in bad times. Thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
You guys, we got a rotating
exciting morning around
I
here.
know, right?
We have music.
A little, you're going to join with us?
I will absolutely
yeah,
join.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I'm talking
The past
about.
45 minutes, that's all he's been doing is the
I think I'll hear it for days.
You can't, once it's in there, it's in. It's just one of those things. So let me ask you something. Okay, let's get into why we're really here right now. Why is it so critical that people that are watching talk to you guys before they go and jump and do anything when they find themselves in a bad financial time?
Well, tragically, what we see every single day is that people who are struggling financially have made a lot of mistakes by doing what they think is the right thing to do, and it actually makes the situation worse. And by the time they get to our office, they've already made these mistakes and we cannot undo them. We can still take care of the financial problems, but we could have done that earlier for them and been able to let them keep some of their assets and their retirement and savings and things we're going to talk about.
So you say there's not necessarily a to-do list. You have more of a not to-do list.
Right. I would think we'd like to focus on the main things not to do because it's the consistent issue we see every day that people have done, which again seems like the right thing to do, and that's what good people do to get themselves out of financial crisis. But it actually hurts them to protect themselves and to do what they believe is morally right. But it actually hurts the situation later on.
And so let's start. There's 5 things. What is the first?
The first thing is to not dip into your retirement or your IRA accounts and your savings in order to pay your credit card debt or other types of expenses. Those are exempt under the law and you're not required to do it. And it seems like that if you're facing a temporary problem that you can borrow from your 401k, they have, favorable retirement or repayment plans. But the problem is that most of the time people feel like it's going to be temporary. They've had a loss of a job, they think they'll be able to get a job soon, or they have a medical problem, and it lasts longer than they anticipated. So then they're faced with the penalties, like for IRA withdrawals, you have penalties and tax issues, and IRS issues are one of the things that we can't, well, sometimes we can, but most of the time we can't deal, so it makes the problem worse. And then if you end up in our office after you've used all of those assets, then you not only have that problem, but you also don't have any retirement or things planned for your future.
Okay, I want to make sure we get through all of these. What is the second one you say not to do?
The second thing is not to take out payday loans for any reason. And I say that because it seems when people are having financial trouble and they absolutely have to have money and there's nothing to no one to borrow it from. They're on every street corner. You see them on the internet. In 5 or 10 minutes, you can get a loan for $500. The problem with that,
interest is really high.
The interest is crazy, and it seems like it's not a lot. It's $50 or $100 to borrow, maybe $5.
But then you pay it back, and then you find yourself having to do it again on the next one, and then you just get in this secular.
And if you don't have the money to pay it on your next payday, they'll extend that for you at 600% interest.
Oh my gosh! And
then if you don't do that, you can face criminal charges, which are really something that our office can't help you with. A good lawyer could, but it's pretty difficult, and it's a dangerous cycle.
And we've got a few more to get through. We want to make sure we get through this whole not to-do list, definitely. So what is the third?
The third is not to borrow money from your home in order to pay your expenses. And the reason for that is that if you do have equity left in your home, which is rare these days, you're usually not able to pay your credit card bills because you don't have enough income. So you borrow this money, you consolidate it, it's a lower percent interest, but then they're forced to go ahead and charge on those credit cards again for basic living expenses. Pretty soon their debt is back to the same amount that it was, except now they have a first mortgage, a second mortgage, credit cards, and they can potentially lose their home when they're not able to pay it.
Okay, and you say the fourth is do not use a debt settlement agency.
Absolutely, under any circumstances. What people don't understand about that is a lot of times they're funded by the credit card companies themselves. They're not working for you, they're working for the credit card companies, or that many of them are scams. I see at least one person a week in my office that have paid monthly payments to credit card or debt consolidation or debt settlement companies in order to settle their debts, and find that they've disappeared in the middle of the night after they paid thousands of dollars. And they're not actually paying that money every month to your creditors. They're supposed to hold it in escrow until they build it up enough in order to offer your credit card a settlement. but then that usually doesn't happen, and it doesn't have to happen. In the meantime, you've paid absorbent fees to that company, if they're even around, to be able to do something that they can't guarantee that they do.
So let me ask you this then, what would be the answer? Obviously come in and see you guys, and you can help navigate us through the right ways to take charge?
Absolutely. I know it's an easy thing to do nothing and to ignore it. Even if you have judgments, people think that if they don't have money, they can't take anything from them. But the truth is that they can get judgments against you. Your car is not exempt under the law where they think, well, I need my car to go to work, so they can't do that. They can freeze your bank accounts, even if you have non or exempt assets. If you're a head of hold wage earner, for example, they're not supposed to be able to take that. But they don't have to get permission in order to freeze your account for up to 3 times the amount of the judgment, and it can take days or weeks to unfreeze that account. And even the best lawyers, it takes days or even weeks. And what would you do if you had no access to your money for a week? I mean, even a week. And by that time, you don't have credit cards either, so it can be really dangerous. So don't do nothing. Come to our office, speak to a professional about that.
All right.
Absolutely.
And find out your options so you know the best avenue for you.
All right. Thank you, Felicia.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you
Thank you
being
very
here, as
much.
always, in the Ladies of the Law. And we want to thank Emery, Kast, and Walker for sponsoring this segment. And remember, the biggest mistake that they say that you can make when facing financial hardships is to do nothing.
The legal team of Emery, Kast, and Walker understands what you're going through, and they're there to help good people in bad times. Just visit their website at www.jackslawyer.com or call them at 904-404-3349 for a free consultation.
3394.
What did I say?
49. That's right. I do
Oh,
that
did
all
I?
the time.
Oh,
It's okay. I was flipped in the prompter.
3394
There you go.
for a free consultation to find solutions to